Welcome in or welcome back. You know, the curse of being a Celtics fan is you are always kind of expected to be in that championship hunt. And when it's a year where it is clearly not going to happen, it's hard to be excited. I'm very thankful for the 2 championships that I've got to witness in my lifetime, but even that small bit of success when you compare it to other teams in the league, that small bit of success has me thinking we should always be in the mix. I mean, after all, there's a reason that we don't hang divisional championship banners in Boston. Had I made this video a month ago, I probably would have been a bit more doom and gloom about the whole situation. I'm still there mentally, but I'm going to try to be a little bit more positive in this video. And to try to do that, let's talk about something I'm actually excited about, some of our draft picks. At number 28, Hugo Gonzalez. At number 46, Amari Williams. And at number 57, Max Shulga. And I am so high on Hugo Gonzalez, and I have been that way for a long time. If Hugo Gonzalez has no fans, I am dead. I just love his game. And with the Jason Tatum injury, I'm really hoping that he can carve out some minutes for himself. He's very twitchy, he's got a great first step, and he is a fantastic off-ball cutter. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he got 6 points a game this year just off of back cuts. And I think he's really solid on defense too. He's never going to be this all-defensive kind of guy, but he is never in the wrong position. I think he's a great chase down artist. I also think that he's great at getting back taps on steals or being able to block your shot from behind. I am all in on Hugo Gonzalez. I just wish he had a cooler number. And as for Amari Williams and Max Shulga, I do think a lot of their time will be spent in Maine. I do have a lot more hope for Amari than I do Max. I've been keeping my eye on Amari Williams since he was at Kentucky. And again, I am stoked that he fell to us. He also fits this archetype that I love in a player, a rim runner and a shot blocker. If he's going to get any playing time at all, that's how he's going to leave his mark. And with our center rotation this year, there is a valid argument to have that he could be the center of the future for the Boston Celtics. The Celtics didn't have any re-signings, and if Jason Tatum didn't go down, we probably do have a couple here. But now that we won't see Jason Tatum for any meaningful stretch of time until the 2026-2027 NBA season, the front office had to make a financial decision. And I don't blame them either, really. I mean, I think that all billionaires are bad people, and this $500 million luxury tax bill that was going to be put on them if they kept guys like Al Horford and Drew Holiday would be a drop in the hat for them, and they should be willing to pay that kind of money to be able to keep this core together. But when you aren't going to be the number 1 or 2 seed and your best player is out, it sort of makes sense to remold the team. I do wish that we could have kept a couple pieces, but we have to keep moving forward. The Celtics had a couple additions this year: Chris Boucher, Luka Garza, Josh Minott, and Anthony Simons. And as respectfully as possible, fuck. Chris Boucher is perfectly fine as a role player. He used to be this 3-and-D big, and he's kind of slipped on that right now, so I'm not expecting a ton from him this year. And as for Luka Garza and Josh Minott, again, as respectfully as possible, if they couldn't crack a rotation for a team who was trying to win something last year in Minnesota, I'm not going to get excited for anything that they do where this team, best case scenario, is a 6 seed. I really like Luka Garza's play style, and I think that Josh Minott has a ton of heart, but these guys are just filling a roster spot. Anthony Simons, on the other hand, I do have some hope for. Do I think that he would be on this team if we were trying to win a championship? I'm not sure. What I've seen from him in the preseason, though, is very impressive. For a long time, people were saying that he was just a Damian Lillard clone, and while I have been very skeptical about that, I do see the similarities. He's going to have a ton of opportunities, being the only player off the bench that could reliably get a bucket, and he's one of the most perfect Mazzulla ball players that there ever have been, so I'm expecting a big year from him this year. As a matter of fact, he's my preseason 6th Man of the Year winner. So while I think this is going to be a very rough year, he is going to be a bright spot. And now let's talk about the departures: Kristaps Porzingis, Luke Kornet, Al Horford, and Drew Holiday. And oh boy, where do I even start? It's very weird to lose this much of a core from a championship in one offseason, right? Like, I'm not just overreacting. Some of it makes sense for sure. Like, we literally just couldn't afford Luke Kornet, and I wanted to keep him around, but the Spurs just had deeper pockets. I will be enjoying the minutes that he does get in San Antonio, and it looks like Wemby is already a fan of him, so it's really hard to say that Luke Kornet made the wrong decision, especially after winning a title. For Kristaps Porzingis, it was just time for a change. I'll always be a fan of his, but last year he underperformed, and again, when we are not in a real race to win a championship, when we're not real title contenders, it is hard to justify keeping that kind of player on the roster for that price tag. He had some consistency issues last year, but I do have high hopes for him. If he can stay healthy, I think that him and Trae Young are going to be one of the most unstoppable duos in the league. I will miss Drew Holiday a good bit, though. He's one of the most underrated players in the entire league, and I'm glad that we were able to get him another ring. In a similar situation to Kristaps Porzingis, he also underperformed on the offensive end, so because of that, the team decided to get a little bit younger going after Anthony Simons. For him, I do think that he'll be a great vet in Portland, and I also think there's a pretty good chance that he ends up on another contender before the year's over. Al Horford's departure, though, hurts a lot. I'm not going to lie. I've known for months now that he wasn't going to come back to Boston, but it hurts so much seeing him in a Warriors jersey. I have high hopes for him as well, but that jersey combo is never going to look right to me. I'm very proud to say that we were the ones that were able to get Big Al a championship ring. He'll go down as a fan favorite. There's an argument to retire his jersey, and at the very least, he was able to guide the Jays into their stardom. So for a season overview as a Celtics fan, there are things to watch this year. I'm not going to pretend like there aren't, but it just doesn't feel right. I'll still watch Jaylen Brown try to backpack this team. I'll still watch Derek White light it up from three, and I'm really interested to see what Peyton Pritchard will do as a starter on this team. But this team is just so different. I just don't think that in any other normal year, this is a playoff roster. The only real solace for me as a fan is that there is so much inconsistency in the East. Indiana probably isn't going to be there, and despite this new approach into the season and all the moves that they've made, we still don't know what the Bucks and the 76ers are going to look like. With all that inconsistency, with all the flawed rosters, there is a realistic scenario where the Celtics are a 5th or 6th seed. But even with all of those things in our favor, I can't be too excited about this team's chances. I've seen what it takes to win a title in today's league, and this is just not one of those years. This is not one of those rosters. So ultimately, I still will watch all the games, but in the back of my mind, I'll know that this is a gap year. But once we make it back to the top, the league better watch its back. Are you a Celtics fan, and are you as sad as I am about this season? Let me know down in the comments below. While you're down there, check my description. Got a link tree with all of my socials: Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. I'm everywhere. I also have a Discord community that I would love for you to be a part of. But that's going to do it for me today. Be on the lookout for your favorite team in this series. One more to go in a couple days. Be kind. Tell somebody you love them. I'll see you in the next one.
Barely scraping by. Trying to stop puffing. I'm trying to be one of the greats.